A blessing in disguise. A good thing that seemed bad at first. The asteroid impact was a blessing in disguise, fostering dinosaur extinction. Penicillin's accidental discovery was truly a blessing in disguise for humanity. Oxygen's reactivity can damage cells, yet supports life, a blessing in disguise. It's not rocket science. It's not as difficult as you might think. It's not rocket science to realize eating healthy improves overall body function. Managing your budget is simple, it's really not rocket science once understood. Conserving water daily is essential, honestly, it's not rocket science whatsoever. Get out of hand. Become difficult or impossible to control. If tensions get out of hand, negotiations could collapse entirely within hours. Overfishing can get out of hand and cause irreversible ecosystem imbalances. Urban light pollution can get out of hand, affecting nocturnal animal behavior. Beat around the bush. To speak in a roundabout way. Politicians often beat around the bush regarding fossil fuel dependency issues. Avoid beating around the bush, focus directly on your experiment's hypothesis. Researchers beat around the bush, instead of stating pollution's harmful effects. To make matters worse. To make the situation even more unpleasant. To make matters worse, rising seas are displacing coastal communities rapidly. The volcano erupted. To make matters worse, an earthquake hit nearby towns. The shipment was delayed, and to make matters worse, the order was incorrect. Under the weather. When you feel slightly unwell or in low spirits. Researchers sometimes feel under the weather after long field expeditions. People feel under the weather during seasonal influenza outbreaks in winter. Several crew members felt under the weather during the voyage to Antarctica. At face value. To accept something as it appears to be. It's dangerous to accept online reviews at face value without further research. Sometimes people hide their true feelings, so don't take emotions at face value. Reading a study at face value can be misleading, without further critical analysis. A picture is worth 1,000 words. The images tell a better story than words. An archaeological site photo is worth 1,000 words in historical preservation. A chemical reaction diagram is worth 1,000 words for student comprehension. A picture is worth 1,000 words when mapping the spread of infectious diseases. Kill two birds with one stone. Get two things done with a single action. Using solar panels kills two birds with one stone, cutting costs and emissions. Learning languages kills two birds with one stone, culture and communication. Genetic reform kills two birds with one stone, by improving yield and resistance. Read between the lines. To look for the real meaning of something. The detective read between the lines to uncover the suspect's true motive. To interpret literature well, you need to read between the lines consistently. Reading between the lines helps reveal the subtle clues about their intentions. Bite the bullet. Face something difficult with courage. Sometimes you must bite the bullet to revise methods and improve outcomes. Biting the bullet, the researcher shared the negative findings openly with peers. Sometimes, biting the bullet means facing criticism for innovative but risky ideas. Cutting corners. Doing something cheaply or carelessly. The spacecraft design failed because engineers were caught cutting corners. Cutting corners in medical testing jeopardizes patient safety and public health. The team avoided cutting corners to maintain integrity in their precise inquiry. Make a long story short. Summarize by skipping unnecessary details. Make a long story short. DNA stores instructions for building every organism. Make a long story short. Evolution explains life's incredible diversity on Earth. To make a long story short, the error was traced back to faulty software coding. No pain, no gain. You have to work for what you want. Many athletes believe no pain, no gain applies during high-intensity training. No pain, no gain in mapping remote ocean trenches with robotic submarines. In muscle growth, no pain, no gain often reflects necessary tissue adaptation. So far so good. Things have been successful up to now. So far so good, the new algorithm processes data faster than previous versions. So far so good, coral restoration efforts show encouraging early recovery signs. The new microscope is working well, so far so good with image resolution quality. Look before you leap. Think carefully before taking any action. Look before you leap when launching untested satellites into expensive orbits. Look before you leap before exposing sensitive ecosystems to foreign species. Look before you leap during clinical trials to prioritize patient safety and ethics. Saving for a rainy day. Keeping money for future emergencies. Oceanographers save preserved specimens, saving for a rainy day reference. Saving for a rainy day ensures financial security during unexpected hardships. Saving for a rainy day, the lab kept extra supplies for emergencies or shortages. Hard and fast. Fixed and not able to be changed. Some traditions are hard and fast, while others adapt over time and cultures. Hard and fast decisions are often needed when the situation becomes critical. Hard and fast regulations ensure safety, but sometimes limit creative freedom. Black and white. Something has been written, and not just said. Black and white diagrams illustrated the internal structure of the human brain. The evidence was not black and white, requiring further detailed investigation. The black and white map displayed seismic activity zones across the continent. By chance. Without plan or intent, accidentally. The cure for penicillin was discovered by chance in a contaminated petri dish. Mutations in DNA can occur by chance, driving evolutionary changes naturally. The solution to the problem appeared by chance, during a casual conversation. The last straw. The last in a series of unpleasant events. The last straw came when poachers targeted a nearly extinct animal species. The last straw was when the spacecraft's oxygen generator failed completely. The last straw was discovering illegal dumping in a protected marine sanctuary. Actions speak louder than words. Believe what people do and not what they say. Planting trees proves actions speak louder than words in climate protection. Actions speak louder than words. Lab results prove theories better than claims. Adopting electric transport shows actions speak louder than words for pollution. Add insult to injury. To make a bad situation worse for someone. To add insult to injury, the study paper was rejected after months of hard work. Earthquake damage added insult to injury when tsunamis struck coastal regions. Pollution adds insult to injury by worsening respiratory problems during wildfires. Birds of a feather flock together. Summarize by skipping unnecessary details. Wildebeest migrations resemble birds of a feather flock together for safety. Dolphins show birds of a feather flock together through complex social groups. Wolves prove birds of a feather flock together by coordinated hunting behavior. Don't cry over spilt milk. To lament something that cannot be altered. Don't cry over spilt milk after failed agricultural crop experiments in droughts. Don't cry over spilt milk. Failed experiments can lead to important discoveries. When data is lost, don't cry over spilt milk. Repeat tests and improve methods. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge based on appearances only. Don't judge a book by its cover. Some barren deserts hold vital ecosystems. Don't judge a book by its cover. Many asteroids contain valuable rare metals. Don't judge a book by its cover. Pluto hides fascinating geological complexity. Once in a blue moon. Something happens very rarely or unusually. The phenomenon of bioluminescence appears once in a blue moon naturally. Once in a blue moon, planets outside our solar system align perfectly for study. A solar eclipse happens once in a blue moon, amazing astronomers worldwide. A penny saved is a penny earned. Money you save today, you can spend later. Choosing public transport shows a penny saved is a penny earned mindset. Laboratories prove a penny saved is a penny earned by recycling lab materials. A storm in a teacup. A lot of trouble about something unimportant. The media exaggerated the issue, making a storm in a teacup unnecessarily. The argument about slight temperature changes was just a storm in a teacup. Arguments about tiny measurement differences can create a storm in a teacup. Come rain or shine. Happening regardless of weather or conditions. Biologists conduct plant studies come rain or shine, throughout the seasons. NASA tracks satellite signals, come rain or shine, to avoid communication loss. Weather stations gather climate data, come rain or shine without interruption. Curiosity killed the cat. The dangers of unnecessary investigation. Curiosity killed the cat, but knowledge gained from careful study is invaluable. Curiosity killed the cat warns about dangers of meddling with unknown forces. Curiosity killed the cat, but safe exploration leads to groundbreaking discoveries. Fortune favors the bold. Great rewards for someone who takes risks. Fortune favors the bold, as Darwin published controversial evolution theories. Fortune favors the bold, who explore uncharted territories in space exploration. Fortune favors the bold, motivating teams to solve complex problems creatively. Sitting on the fence. To be undecided or refuse to choose a side. Experts sometimes sit on the fence until more evidence becomes available. Sitting on the fence about vaccination harms public health efforts significantly. Avoid sitting on the fence when evidence clearly supports one scientific theory. Leave no stone unturned. Do everything you can to achieve a good result. Medical experts leave no stone unturned in researching cures for rare diseases. Historians leave no stone unturned when authenticating ancient manuscripts. Astronomers leave no stone unturned scanning space for habitable exoplanets. Through thick and thin. Supporting someone in all situations. Migratory birds travel through thick and thin, across vast continents yearly. The explorer survived through thick and thin, in the harsh Arctic conditions. Students study through thick and thin, preparing for their exams effectively. Waste not, want not. Avoid waste to prevent future shortage. Waste not, want not is key to sustainable living and resource management. Farmers follow waste not, want not to use resources efficiently every season. Chefs embrace waste not, want not by using leftover food creatively in recipes. Well begun is half done. A good beginning almost assures success. Athletes practice well begun is half done by warming up properly before games. Teams accept well begun is half done to build strong collaboration foundations. Technicians know well begun is half done when calibrating equipment precisely. Come to terms with. To gradually accept a sad situation. We come to terms with climate change's impact through extensive data analysis. Doctors come to terms with challenging diagnoses to provide better patient care. Teachers come to terms with varied student progress in science classrooms daily. Know something inside and out. To know something very thoroughly. Geologists know rock formations inside and out through fieldwork experience. The professor knows chemical reactions inside and out for accurate predictions. Innovators know their inventions inside and out before launching them globally. Pull yourself together. Regain control of your emotions. Athletes pull themselves together after injuries, working hard to recover fully. When equipment broke, technicians pulled themselves together to fix it quickly. Pull yourself together and complete the experiment before the deadline passes. Caught red-handed. Caught in the act of wrongdoing. Journalists caught a company red-handed hiding data on harmful emissions. Officials caught red-handed illegal disposal of chemicals in the protected area. The company was caught red-handed, falsifying reports on toxic emissions levels. With flying colors. With an overwhelming victory or success. They executed the deep-sea exploration mission with flying colors and safety. The student passed the biology exam with flying colors, impressing all teachers. The team presented the findings with flying colors at the international seminar. Fit as a fiddle. Very healthy and strong physical condition. Being fit as a fiddle improves mental health and physical endurance at work. Proper nutrition keeps scientists fit as a fiddle for mental and physical tasks. The research team stayed fit as a fiddle during the demanding field expedition. Go to the dogs. To become much worse in quality or character. Without regulation, the ecosystem's health is going to the dogs every season. The town's infrastructure went to the dogs after the devastating flood struck. When the government ignores the issue, public services tend to go to the dogs. Fish out of water. A person in a completely new environment. Moving to a foreign country can make anyone feel like a fish out of water. Being a fish out of water, he struggled with unfamiliar scientific jargon daily. Being the only new member, he felt like a fish out of water during meetings. Every cloud has a silver lining. Bad situations have some good aspects. Every cloud has a silver lining during crises, fostering teamwork and innovation. They found new opportunities, because every cloud has a silver lining after a crisis. She believed every cloud has a silver lining, despite ongoing personal challenges. Go the extra mile. Make a special effort to achieve something. Employers value workers who willingly go the extra mile without being asked. She went the extra mile to ensure every guest felt welcome and comfortable. Going the extra mile often distinguishes average work from truly excellent work. Fair and square. In an honest way and without any doubt. The athlete admitted defeat fair and square, respecting his opponent's skill. The victory was achieved fair and square, thanks to hard work and dedication. They settled the dispute fair and square, after listening to both parties carefully. Turn a deaf ear. To ignore someone when they complain. Sometimes turning a deaf ear helps avoid unnecessary arguments and stress. Politicians often turn a deaf ear to the demands of marginalized communities. She turned a deaf ear to criticism and continued pursuing her artistic passion. Rings a bell. Sounds familiar but not remembered clearly. The term quantum entanglement rings a bell from last year's physics lecture. The name Marie Curie, rings a bell for pioneering radioactive element research. The phrase, Big Bang Theory, rings a bell, due to popular science documentaries. Jump on the bandwagon. To follow a trend because it's popular. The public jumped on the bandwagon, adopting the technology far too quickly. Startups jumped on the bandwagon of AI development to attract more funding. Fans jumped on the bandwagon after the team won the championship last year. Clouds on the horizon. Something that threatens to cause problems. The company sees clouds on the horizon due to upcoming regulatory changes. Clouds on the horizon suggest rising sea levels may threaten coastal cities soon. Clouds on the horizon indicate potential shortages in critical rare earth minerals. In a nutshell. Describes something that is brief or to the point. The theory, in a nutshell, argues that evolution is driven by natural selection. The movie plot, in a nutshell, revolves around love, betrayal, and redemption. DNA, in a nutshell, carries genetic instructions essential for all living organisms. On top of the world. Feeling extremely happy or successful. Graduating from university gave him the feeling of being on top of the world. Achieving a breakthrough in cancer research left the team on top of the world. Making a new discovery about black holes made him feel on top of the world. Rain cats and dogs. It rains a lot at a particular moment in time. The weather forecast predicted it would rain cats and dogs all weekend long. We got soaked because it was raining cats and dogs during the outdoor event. Prepare for heavy showers, since meteorologists expect it to rain cats and dogs. At a stretch. Do something without breaks or interruptions. The meeting lasted 4 hours at a stretch, testing everyone's patience greatly. The animal can survive in harsh climates at a stretch, adapting slowly over time. The marathon runner kept running at a stretch, despite feeling very exhausted. At the 11th hour. The latest possible time before it is too late. The government passed the bill at the 11th hour, to avoid political chaos. At the 11th hour, the negotiations broke down, resulting in no agreement. At the 11th hour, collaborators agreed on the terms to start the joint study. By hook or by crook. By any means possible, in one way or another. The explorers reached the remote site, by hook or by crook despite obstacles. By hook or by crook, the team managed to publish their controversial findings. The engineers fixed the malfunction, by hook or by crook, before the deadline. By leaps and bounds. Something is improving or increasing quickly. Renewable energy adoption grows by leaps and bounds, due to global demand. Medical research expands by leaps and bounds, as new discoveries emerge daily. Her knowledge of coding grew by leaps and bounds, after joining the boot camp. In full swing. Operating at peak activity or intensity. The DNA sequencing project was in full swing, with multiple teams involved. The rainforest's wet season was in full swing, encouraging rapid plant growth. The volcano's eruption phase was in full swing, spewing ash into atmosphere. In the nick of time. Just in time, or at the last possible moment. The dam gates opened in the nick of time, preventing catastrophic flooding. The firefighters rescued the family in the nick of time, before the fire spread. Conservationists intervened in the nick of time, to save the endangered turtles. In the long run. Over a lengthy period of time, in the end. Preserving natural habitats is crucial for biodiversity survival in the long run. Exercise benefits health in the long run by improving cardiovascular strength. In the long run, investing in education improves economic growth significantly. Nip in the bud. Prevent something from becoming a problem. To nip software bugs in the bud, developers use thorough testing methods. Controlling invasive species quickly can nip in the bud ecosystem disruptions. Astronomers nipped in the bud errors in data before publishing their findings. Part and parcel. A basic and necessary part of something. Collaboration among disciplines is part and parcel of modern science projects. Ethical considerations are part and parcel of clinical trial protocols worldwide. Communication skills are part and parcel of effective teamwork in laboratories. pros and cons. Advantages and disadvantages of something. The committee debated the pros and cons of extending the working hours. Evaluating pros and cons helps determine feasibility of new scientific theories. The pros and cons of nuclear energy influence environmental policy decisions. As a rule, a prescribed guide for conduct or action. We follow safety procedures as a rule to prevent any workplace accidents. Tourists, as a rule, should carry identification when exploring foreign countries. As a rule, marine biologists avoid disturbing wildlife during underwater studies. In no time. Very quickly or without delay. New lab equipment helped the researchers detect bacterial growth in no time. The runners crossed the finish line in no time, breaking previous records easily. Advanced scanners detect microscopic cracks in spacecraft materials in no time. In a body. Do something together as a group. The delegates voted in a body to approve the new environmental regulations. The protesters moved in a body through the streets, chanting loudly for justice. Astronomers in a body celebrated the discovery of a potentially habitable planet. Kith and kin. Friends and family members together. Kith and kin often share genetic traits passed down through many generations. In times of crisis, kith and kin provide essential emotional and financial support. Evolutionary biologists study how animals protect their kith and kin instinctively. Keep up with. To make progress at the same rate as others. It's challenging to keep up with the latest technology trends in the market. Chemists keep up with molecular discoveries through peer-reviewed journals. Engineers keep up with innovations in renewable energy storage technologies. Lion's share. The largest part or most of something. The lion's share of biodiversity exists in tropical rainforests around the world. The lion's share of plastic waste ends up polluting oceans annually worldwide. The marketing team took the lion's share of credit for the campaign's success. Null and void. No longer valid, legitimate, or enforceable. Their license was deemed null and void, following multiple safety violations. The court ruled the transaction null and void because of fraudulent activities. When errors occur, test results might be declared null and void immediately. Next to nothing. A very small amount, almost nothing. Some animal species require next to nothing oxygen in specialized deep caves. The company sold the outdated equipment for next to nothing to competitors. Certain desert plants thrive on next to nothing in water during long dry seasons. Pave the way. Make progress easier for others. Newton's laws paved the way for understanding classical mechanics in physics. The education reforms will pave the way for better learning experiences overall. Quantum computing could pave the way for revolutionary encryption methods. Through and through. In every part or aspect, throughout. Minerals form through and through in rocks by geological processes over time. She's a teacher through and through, inspiring the next generation of scientists. The structure of DNA is a double helix through and through, holding genetic code. Up and doing. Active and ready to work. The volunteers were up and doing at dawn, organizing supplies for the shelter. Astronomers were up and doing to observe a rare celestial event early morning. The team was up and doing, collecting samples during the early morning hours. Wear and tear. Damage from normal daily use. Natural wear and tear of rocks causes soil formation over thousands of years. The bridge suffered wear and tear due to constant heavy traffic over decades. Weather conditions accelerated the wear and tear on the wooden deck outside. Beat around the bush. Avoid addressing the main subject directly. He tends to beat around the bush when discussing sensitive family matters. When discussing the issue, she tends to beat around the bush unnecessarily. The manager didn't beat around the bush and addressed the mistake directly. Miss the boat. Fail to take an opportunity. If you don't apply soon, you'll completely miss the boat on opportunities. She realized she had missed the boat after the tickets sold out completely. They missed the boat because their project wasn't ready for the competition. Take with a grain of salt. View something with doubt or skepticism. He exaggerates often, so you have to take what he says with a grain of salt. Take marketing claims with a grain of salt, and verify the facts independently. Take the news with a grain of salt, until official confirmation arrives tomorrow. Burn your bridges. Destroy any chance of return. Be careful not to burn your bridges with colleagues when you leave work. You risk burning your bridges if you refuse to collaborate with your team. Burning your bridges during negotiations can harm long-term partnerships. Start from scratch. Begin again with nothing available. Their plan collapsed, leaving them to start from scratch with a new idea. After moving cities, she had to start from scratch socially and professionally. The novel wasn't working, so the author began from scratch with a new plot. Think outside the box. Consider ideas in an unconventional way. Innovators think outside the box to create breakthrough technologies. Thinking outside the box leads to unconventional but effective solutions. The students were told to think outside the box for their final project ideas. Turn over a new leaf. Begin to behave in a better way. The company turned over a new leaf with better customer service policies. He turned over a new leaf after realizing the damage caused by his behavior. He promised to turn over a new leaf and improve his behavior immediately. Walk a fine line. Balance between two opposite situations. Writers walk a fine line between creativity and factual accuracy in reporting. Politicians often walk a fine line between honesty and diplomacy in speeches. In negotiations, you have to walk a fine line between compromise and demand. Cost an arm and a leg. Be extremely expensive or overpriced. High-end gaming laptops often cost an arm and a leg for top performance. Renovating the old house ended up costing an arm and a leg, unexpectedly. The designer handbag she bought cost an arm and a leg, but looked amazing. Time is money. Wasting time means wasting potential income. In logistics, time is money. Late deliveries hurt profits and customer trust. Time is money, which is why regularity is critical for successful business deals. In agriculture, time is money when harvesting, before crops lose peak nutrition. Burn the midnight oil. Work late into the night hours. Lawyers often burn the midnight oil, preparing legal arguments for court. She burned the midnight oil, completing the final edits of her manuscript. Biochemists burn the midnight oil to finish sequencing rare plant genomes. Work like a dog. Work extremely hard and tirelessly. During harvest season, farmers often work like a dog from dawn till dusk. They worked like a dog to rebuild their home after the hurricane disaster. Field researchers work like a dog during intense Antarctic weather studies. Work against the clock. Hurry to meet a tight deadline. Divers work against the clock, studying underwater caves before tides shift. Arctic researchers work against the clock before polar ice melts in summer. Doctors work against the clock during high-risk organ transplant operations. Keep at arm's length. Maintain distance to avoid closeness. Celebrities sometimes keep the media at arm's length to maintain privacy. The company keeps its suppliers at arm's length to avoid conflicts of interest. Keeping difficult clients at arm's length can help reduce stress in the workplace. Par for the course. Something normal or expected to happen. Par for the course in exams is that some questions will be unexpectedly hard. In competitive sports, injuries are par for the course and expected to happen. Technical difficulties during presentations are par for the course in live events. Not my cup of tea. Not something one particularly enjoys. Reality television shows are not my cup of tea. I watch documentaries. Outdoor camping is not my cup of tea. I prefer relaxing indoors with a book. Loud parties are not my cup of tea. I prefer quiet gatherings with close friends. On the right track. Doing things in the correct direction. The startup's new product launch put them on the right track for growth. The team's latest performance shows they are on the right track strategically. Their improved communication means they are on the right track in marriage. Go with the flow. Accept things as they naturally happen. Sometimes it's best to go with the flow when plans change unexpectedly. Divers go with the flow when exploring reefs affected by changing currents. Meteorologists go with the flow, adjusting forecasts to shifting wind patterns. Add fuel to the fire. Make a bad situation even worse. Responding angrily added fuel to the fire instead of resolving the dispute. His angry comment only added fuel to the fire during the heated argument. Spreading rumors will add fuel to the fire and worsen the misunderstanding. The tip of the iceberg. Small part of a much bigger problem. These complaints are just the tip of the iceberg of customer dissatisfaction. The symptoms are the tip of the iceberg, hiding deeper health complications. The reported bugs are the tip of the iceberg for software development issues. In hot water. In trouble or facing difficulties. The company is in hot water for violating environmental safety regulations. The teacher found herself in hot water over inappropriate social media posts. Marine mammals are in hot water from increasing ocean noise and ship traffic. Out of the blue. Suddenly and unexpectedly. A previously unknown dinosaur fossil appeared out of the blue during a dig. The problem appeared out of the blue during the system maintenance check. The opportunity arose out of the blue when a position unexpectedly opened. Keep an eye on. Watch something or someone carefully. Engineers keep an eye on dams to detect structural weakness or water leaks. Ecologists keep an eye on coral reefs to monitor bleaching and recovery rates. Geologists keep an eye on tectonic movements to anticipate seismic hazards.